Hello, beautiful ones. Happy Friday. Happy Venus Day. I decided to do this video today because it is Venus Day, and Venus is the planet of love. And so, since I'm talking about love as a form of spiritual warfare, I just felt like it was fitting. So, anyway, as we think about love in our hearts, well, specifically the heart, we know that we're not talking about the physical muscle that pumps blood throughout our bodies, right? We're thinking about the energetic one, the one that is spiritual in nature. And our hearts are like our bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. Even when you think about the 7 chakras, the heart is the 4th one. It is the one right in the middle, bridging between the actual ones that are more about the physical world, your solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra, and it bridges for the more ethereal elements of the throat, third eye, and the crown, which are the ones that are reaching up to the heavens, right? So it is that bridge. It is like our own personal altar. But not only is it our personal altar, but it's often our battleground. And so as we experience relationships, be it romantic, platonic, friendships with family, we can put ourselves in a position to experience heartbreak. Anytime that we engage with another individual and we allow ourselves to have some form of vulnerability, some form of expressing ourselves, we run the risk of heartbreak, right? So once we do experience heartbreak, and we should dare to love again and let someone else in, that means that we have fallen and maybe in some cases almost died on the battlefield, at least felt like it. You know, obviously it definitely feels like it if those experiences can be a deterrent towards wanting to reestablish love in our lives again. So if we should choose to love again, that means that we've decided to get up off the ground, dust ourselves off, and regroup and try it again. And what that means is you didn't allow it to crush your spirit. You didn't allow it to make you feel like you weren't enough. You didn't allow it to cause you to feel unworthy of receiving love, or even that if you choose to give it again, that it is tainted or of lesser value. Because I know that sometimes after we have been, rejected, mistreated, abused, manipulated, been deceived, and all of that, we can feel like, oh, well, what I had to give must not have been enough for them. What I had to give them wasn't enough to change the way that they saw me. It changed their behavior towards me. It changed how they felt about me, or it didn't help them decide to want to do better or be better. And so we think that our love decreases in value somehow. We often think that we as a whole decrease in value when we've experienced heartbreak and love losses and things like that. But in circumstances where we find ourselves choosing to love again, that means that you denied that narrative and you decided to do something different. You decided it wasn't going to defeat you. You didn't allow it to chip away at you to the point that you couldn't stand again and assert yourself for what you deserve. Instead, you nursed your wounds, you assessed the situation, for the lessons that were there to be learned. You restored yourself with self-love, learned who you are again, learned where you had yourself messed up and made the particular choice again and again. You course corrected and you took the time to re-strategize. You couldn't approach the next situation, the next battle, and for the sake of choosing love again, don't want to go straight into thought of war, but when you're engaging with another person, each person has their stance, and so that you want to approach that engagement differently than you did last time. But that takes time. Soldiers have to heal, right? But as much as we can feel these experiences physically, it's very much a spiritual situation, a spiritual circumstance. It affects and shifts our actual being. And a lot of our experience here in this earthly realm is about that, refining ourselves. And a lot of that will come through relationships. That's why we have them. That's why we have family structure. Not only just to support each other, but our experiences with engaging in intimate relationships help to develop us further as spiritual beings. I'm trying to think what and also I think, or I feel, I've experienced, and I have to admit that my heartbreak, or what I thought was heartbreak, wasn't always about my heart, my emotions. Oh, the person did me so wrong. Oh, I'm so sad, I miss them. It was about how could they do someone as dope as me like this. So it was more of an ego break than it was an actual heartbreak. And that in itself can be a battle too. So you have your spiritual side, your heart that needs to mend, needs to adjust in this bridged place between this physical and spiritual experience that you had with this person. You're at that altar, you're at that battlefield trying to pick yourself back up again, and you got your map out, and you're trying to figure out the next place that you're gonna go with it and how you're gonna address it and attack the next situation and all of that. But then your ego can also be a driver in some of these situations. So that's definitely something to check. But my main premise about attempting to love again being a form of spiritual warfare was just in concept about how spiritual love is. God is love. God is spirit. So to me, that means love is spirit. Love is spiritual in nature. And if our very existence is to strive to be more like God, to have more godliness, that means that we're to have more love. You cannot be absent of love and be godly. Like, how can you even be righteous and not have love? I mean, that's even the scripture. I can have a whole bunch of stuff, but if I lack love, I have nothing. And so to deny fear, or actually defeat fear, because that's what you're battling, and that's what you're facing. After you get up again from being beat down, you're gonna feel fear. Like, am I okay? I'm in a vulnerable position. I have scars. I have wounds. I have tender places. Can I withstand another fight, another battle? I'm afraid to engage with another being that can attack me, that can hurt me. Why would I put myself in that position again? You have to face fear. And fear is the enemy. Fear is the direct opposite vibration of love. Hate is not the opposite of love. Fear is. So when you can defeat fear, you're a warrior. You're an absolute warrior. Fear, to me, is one of our greatest enemies. And we talk about an enemy that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Think about decisions that you've made in your life based on fear. And tell me if it didn't kill your ambition, didn't kill your creativity, didn't destroy potentially even who you thought you were or what you could do. Fear literally drains you, and it is doing a number on us out here in these streets. Everyone is afraid to be taken advantage of, so they don't want to open themselves up and be vulnerable with one another, and to try and to do the work as an individual to even get to a place where you can be vulnerable with another. We have fear of what comes up during that process of doing the work. So that is the number one enemy. And again, fear is still spiritual in nature, just as much as love is. Love is the highest vibration. Fear is the lowest. So when you can defeat fear and keep it from being an obstacle to you reaching your ascended place in life, your godliness, you're a warrior. You are a warrior in spiritual warfare. And I just think it's dope. I admire people who can go through some heavy things with parents, siblings, cousins, aunties, best friends, and lovers, and still choose to open themselves up again to not only give of themselves, but allow to receive. You gotta know you tough. You tough. I posted about resiliency, a while ago, but it's not just about being resilient. It's about being smart and doing it different when you choose to approach it again. Like, anyone who's been in the military knows that you have to take note of what went wrong in this last battle so we can tweak that and do it better in the next one that we face, because we don't want to have those casualties again. But we're not doing a physical war again. This is something happening in our spirit. So I think that's all. I hope that it helps clarify what I mean. Of course, if you have any questions, reach out. As I continue to ponder on it, should I come up with anything else? Should I have any additional downloads about it? I'll be sure to put it out. But thank you for listening.